we were able to reset rank 1 global, and in today's video I'll be showcasing not only the attacks but also the defenses and including the base link. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the very end for the base link. So without any further ado, let's just dive right into it. And the very first base what we have here is going to be on this box base. Well, it's kind of more of a teaser because of the Town Hall and CC located. Right off the rip there, we did pick up 2 Seeking Air Mines there. So I was already on the thin edge with about testing because I would expect this either is a full bait or it is partially bait to kind of want to pick off some of those initial healers, whether that's for giant arrow healers or the warden healers. But nonetheless here, the main goal of setting the fireball here I wanted to hit was somewhat relatively on this rage tower, because if we hit this and land on the rage tower, we'll be able to clear out this entire core just like that. So there's no threat that's going to be able to pick off the warden here following that fireball. So here we go. We kind of am being a little bit patient here at the start just to kind of want to be a little bit careful there. We're dropping all the infis, which then forces the warden into the middle of the base there. So again, we find another Seeking Air Mine. We are going to be able to land that fireball on that rage. As you can see, I was kind of hesitant about that last invis because I was just worried about the fireball going there. So we kind of did it safe, rather safe than sorry. So we did play that pretty safely there. Now we kind of see that we are going to kind of push our heroes into that side of the base, because after that fireball, there's actually no damage that can actually kill that warden. So we're taking the best, we're taking the most out of the warden with the healers. Since we already invest healers, why not make it a warden charge? So that's what we're doing here. The wall break here was on that T junction, so not only gave me access to the Inferno, the fireball miss, but gave me access into the bottom compartment to where the king can kind of push towards that scatter shot. We do have a lot of spells to work around. We are going to just short bump that Town Hall because that Town Hall is just free, and additionally you'll get the free poison tower trigger out of that. So here we go. We pop the earthquake pitch there, essentially open up this entire core. As you can see there's actually no splash that's going to be able to pick off my skeleton trap on that monolith. So that is going to be a free baby dragon. And of course, we are at the cleanup phase at this point where we're just dropping our world champion there just for additional cleanup. You can see the red mine farm at the very top of the base. I'm assuming it is trying to set a healer bait, but unfortunately we got away with it. We do have plenty of spells and of course rocket loons at this point, that to the point that where it was not even needed. Dealing with the CC, swagging a lot of troops and spells just because of the fireball and how we kind of incorporated the setup with warden going one way and the heroes the other. Nice 40 cups on the board, and let's proceed with the very next base. And the very next base here we have is going to be on this ring base double poison. Now there is slight people that kind of ask me how to approach this base, especially with the fireball, because there is kind of limited value when it comes to fireball across the base. However, you do get really good value with some fireball, but you can see here my whole purpose was to land on that builder hut because of being able to get the CC, and of course that entire compartment where you cleared off the expo, and I did get a multi-archer tower out of that. So not too bad of a fireball there because I got the single CC, and it kind of sets that funnel up to where I can split my heroes, so my heroes can go one way, or the warden can go one way, and then the archer queen and king can go the other way. So here, why do I kind of typically bring 2 quakes there? In some cases a quake is going to suffice, like in this case. Maybe a quake could have sufficed, but trying to reach the quake from that single all the way over to that CC is a little difficult, or probably not even possible. That's why I kind of like to have the flexibility of utilizing the both quake, so that I can actually get the spread or maximize the value out of that fireball. In the event that there's like 5 builder huts, you're always going to be ensured that you're going to be able to get that value with the fireball. So obviously here the king is going into the other side of where the queen, the warden is not going. You can see I used the log launcher at the very top of the base. The whole objective of that was to just pick off that Inferno. Obviously you could have blimped, or you could have just utilized the fling flinger, but to be safe there, a log launcher is fairly easy. Not many people kind of utilizes that, but that's just one thing that I just thought why not on this base. But as you can take a look there, the warden charge with no spells, I just utilized a freeze on that, was able to clear out the scatter, that entire compartment. Here we go, throwing all of our rocket balloons into that compartment where everything is just going to wrap up with the rage, with the freeze. Could have probably swagged all of those spells there, and you could just see the power of just using a warden charge. You don't necessarily have to play it this way, but just some sort of warden charge and then letting it go one way and your heroes on the other side. pretty nice on this particular base. But now let's proceed and jump to the very last replay for today. All right, and the very last attack replay is going to be none other than on El Tano. Now, as you can see here, the immediate fireball onto the monolith, and why on the monolith is because I'll be able to get the CC, you get the free expo, and of course you get one of the ricochet cannons right off the rip just like that. You can do a little warden walk, but then if you run into potential traps, then that's when it can be problematic because of those traps. Like for instance, Tesla's popping. If you ward in that, you're just gonna have to waste time and then kind of risk potentially pulling traps. So that's why I kind of like to do the immediate fireball when it's feasible and possible. So you can see here what I want the water to go is essentially all the way down towards this bottom inferno, because then I can kind of push my heroes onto the top side, ricochet cannon, or on this side by the eagle artillery, and then we are kind of free sailing from there at that point. So Warden really not taking too much damage there. Obviously, if I had the unicorn, or not the unicorn, the jelly, I think the jelly could work on certain bases, but some particular bases, I feel like you have no control over the jelly, because if it runs into the hero and if you end this like defenses, it'll move into the core and it just then becomes problematic, because then it runs into a lot of defenses. So obviously, personal preference there, but for me, I honestly prefer the unicorn over the jelly, because you have way more control on using your warden at that point when you're doing it like this. So you can see how much we're carving here with the heroes. The hero equipments are just that powerful to where it's being able to clear out the entire base. It's actually ridiculous after the fireball, and then, you know, king boots, and then queen, all of that. And then you can see with the yeti blunt just getting a rage there, skeleton spell, and headhunters, you're able to clear out that entire compartment. 2 heroes, and you're able to clear the expo and both of those multi-culture tower. That's just insane to me. But here you can see there, not even our rocket balloons used. We still have freeze, we still have rages used in the pocket there. So obviously at this point, it's pretty much crushed. Time wasn't even too much of a problem. If we wanted to make it under 2 minutes, just spam all of those spells and the rocket balloons. But here you can see none of those were even needed. We were able to walk away with just swagging all of those rocket balloons for El Tano's base, but this base was specifically against the event troops, but thankfully we got the triple without any issues. So now we'll go ahead and jump to the defense replays. All right, and the moment you all have been waiting for, it is the defense base that actually got crazy defense for me for the past 2 days, which kind of helped me get into that rank 1 spot. Now obviously this is kind of an old base. I did modify it quite a bit because this was used against event troops, but I kind of switched a lot of the traps, basically all of the traps, and then of course the sweepers being changed there. It is kind of more centralized against those smash attacks coming into the eagle, but again, you can see not many people is actually utilizing this. So obviously, to start things off with, this is actually a warden charge into, or warden fireball charge into that Lalo attack. You can see it's kind of the army shock had posted, but again, this guy kind of utilized the army composition slightly different, utilizing the siege barrack and of course the 5 Valkyrie. So very interested on how that's working out, but immediately pulled the CC, which 3 headhunters on that warden right off the bat. It's not great, but he was fast on the reaction, able to utilize the Valkyrie to kind of help and support there. Now, in terms of the siege barrack, not very agree with that right there, because you can see the P.E.K.K.A.s died and then the wizards are just getting picked off. So obviously not the best value when it comes to the siege barrack, but obviously probably is what it is. You got the small funneling so that he can ensure that the hero is going in. Slight unfortunate there, the king got immediately locked on by that single, but that just happens some point in times. It does just happens there. So he actually does have like 2 healers there stuck on that Valkyrie picking up the CC, but he still has majority of the healers, or some of the healers, on the queen, because he did lose some to that air defense that was in that bottom compartment because of how he wall break. Bringing a jump spell in this army competition, really not sure how or why that's needed because of the earthquake boots. This is just a Sui hero, not like a kill squad. I'm assuming he wanted to turn into a kill squad, but I really disagree with that as well. But you can see here, Lalo with Town Hall still up, the queen phased through ability and actually died in the middle of the base, and the RC with its ability is already about to go off into single, and at this point he's got no spells, and Lalo through the Town Hall, and we all know what's that going to end up with. It is going to fall short. Not even short, but it's going to be a 1-star because he had no spells going to the middle of the base or through the tall with that. So I'm assuming he wanted more from the heroes, but with all those damage in the core and that jump kind of being pointless, it is just going to fall into the 1-star attack. So obviously a lot of fireball value on the base, but you know, depending on what they fireball, there is still a good chunk of base. Unfortunate for this person, he had to deal with all of the core defenses, and of course the town hall being the way it's set up, it is kind of tough when it comes to just trying to utilize the king and the queen through that, including CC. So now 15 trophies there, 1 star. We'll go ahead and proceed with the very next defense. And finally, the last replay of today, what we are going to highlight is another fireball attack, but instead of Lalo or rocket balloons, we are just going to simply show a super witch attack. Now this base also did defend a Hydra player, but we're not going to show that. We're just going to show more of a common attack, which is the fireball super witches. Now a lot of people tend to really like to go for this eagle or somewhat this side of the angle approach, because you could clear the entire eagle compartment. I don't know. I do believe like if he brought another quake, he'll be able to take that eagle down, but a lot of players feel safe with going with just one quake, just to be able to clear the defenses and have more spells for this push. So he is going to utilize a Valkyrie to kind of funnel on that bottom side for him. Not sure is that very needed. I'm assuming he is going to try to want this warden to actually pick off that eagle, since it's probably like 1 HP left there. Yep, it is 1 HP, so he is going to kind of essentially want that warden to kind of pick that off before he actually starts his super witches. So here we go. I'm assuming he is going to push the super witches into this corner, and looks like he does. The headhunters come out. If he does see it, he does actually see it, so that warden is going to be able to pick it off with the super witches. And here we go. And Sam actually hit a healer, so we are looking decent there. But he is pushing the super, which is a classic common approach there. Just instant fireball, and then, you know, sending the queen siege break on one side, and then kind of delaying that king in, so the king is not the one that's being targeted early in the attack. So really nice setup there. He's got the push going into the base. Very well executed thus far. He's actually getting into the base now. Looks like the healers and the super witches are being stalled by the ice golem. He is actually going to invest the freeze on that single, which I do not think it was needed, but no problem at all. He utilized the early jump just so he could use the earthquake boots later on into the middle of the base there. So it is looking pretty good here, because he has so many, you know, troops going into the middle. But you can see the rage effect already clearing out the entire core army that was alive into the middle of the base. Unfortunately, all the healers died. That's just how the traps are set, with the tornado trap to kind of help with taking that down. I feel like it did a really good job, the traps in the middle of the base, and then, you know, dealing with that Rage Town Hall exposed multi-archer tower, that is actually no joke. So he is going to safely get the Town Hall here with just the queen in there, and then the queen is just going to fall to the monolith there, and then his world champion is going to have to come behind, and with 1 skeleton spell left remaining, I am not sure if he's going to be able to clear the rest of the base there, because of how many defenses that are left up there. And I believe I've stacked like skeleton traps here just because people like the Siri on this bottom side. Yeah, stacking this side up with giant bombs, and you can see the skeleton trap with the ricochet cannon and the Tesla. It is going to be slightly too much for the rest of the attack, so it is going to slightly fall short. Defense is a defense that's just essentially what, 9 cups there that you can gain, because it's just a -31. So really hope you guys like the base. Make sure you guys check the description for the base link. All right, and that is going to be a wrap on today's video. I really hope you guys like the attacks today, and of course the defense replays as I've shown for you guys. Obviously not that much, but again, these defenses actually carried me to where I was able to go plus 96 on the day. So of course, if you guys like this video, make sure you guys go ahead and give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos just like this. And once again, just a reminder, I will go ahead and post the base link down in the description for you guys. So make sure you guys check that out with the recommended CC. I hope the base does well just for you guys, just like it has for me. But until then, I'll catch you all in the very next one. Ghost out.